Hey yo, how's it going everyone? Entropy here today with another video. It's time for the G era, the Stride generation. Here's the first set of the all new G era G Set 1 Stride generation. As usual, this video will follow our three-part structure. First, starting with a brief overview of the events, then highlighting some key units, and lastly finish up with the hindsight of the competitive scene. So without further ado, let's get started. Starting off with the calendar for the month, this is kind of what we expect because this is what we got for JP on the month of October. Of course, you know, you might be wondering, wait, isn't this like a month later than expected? Because we usually have a 3-month gap. But September was actually a buffer month where they buffed some units and kind of gave JP players some time to build up their gems and resources in order to go into G. Global will not be getting that month, so I'm just jumping straight into the October calendar, but I will be mentioning some of the buffs and changes during the September month as well. So you'll see there's quite a few events. Of course, it's not going to be 100% representative of the global experience, and you know, with that said, let's keep trotting along with the main banner of the set, G Set 1. Stride generation, it includes support for Royal Paladin, Kagero, and Chronicle, so that's quite nice. Let's talk about the way gachas work, right? So following the G update, there will be new types of gacha. There will be a set number of cards in each box from the start. Each card has a set number of copies you can pull in a single box. So each pack will have 6 cards, 4 of which will be common and 2 of which will be rare or higher. This rate will only change based on the number of cards per rarity you have left and not the amount of individual cards you have left. You can reset the box to return it to its original state before pulling, but be warned that you cannot undo this action, so if you reset it, you won't be able to unreset it. Duplicates, copies of cards you get after 4 copies, will automatically be converted into a new type of material, GR or universal material, that will be given in a separate screen. Legion baits will not be included in the boxes, only the leaders, so instead they will be given to you separately through the present box when you pull the respective leader. However, duplicate and mates, after getting 4 copies, will give you clan materials as opposed to generation rare materials. Each card has a 10% chance to be SP, and Vanguard medals will not be given through these boxes. You cannot use the existing Vanguard packs in the G box, but you can use gems and G series packs in the G box. G series packs will be dependent on the set, so you cannot save them moving from set 1 to set 2 and set 2 to set 3, etc. So biggest thing is that I think the number of packs you need to open to finish up a proper box is 150 packs. There is only 1 copy of each generation rare in each box. There's only 2 copies of each triple rare in each box. So in order to completely guarantee yourself 4 copies of generation rares, which is optimal, you will need to open 150 times 4, which is 600 packs, which can be expensive. But of course, make the best use of the reset function and pray to Orange Jesus. Or just make more money and spend on Vanguard Zero. Let's talk about the universal mats. So you will get these after getting more duplicates of units from the G gacha. The crafting G units, G era units as well will give you generation materials, but of course duplicates of OG era cards will not. One thing to note is that GR materials will be the same for all clans because they're universal. You can exchange universal mats for any clan mats as you want, but it's not the same way the other way around. The only way you can actually exchange for these universal mats is through the common crafting material, so that is something to consider. Let's talk about strides. So new mechanic stride here, if it's the first player's 4th turn or more, or the second player's 3rd turn or more, if your Vanguard's grade 3 or greater, discard up to total grades of 3 or more, place a G unit on top of your Vanguard from face down. The stride dead Vanguard becomes a heart card, and the G unit gains the name and power of the heart. If you stride, draw a card, and when the turn ends, the G unit goes to the G zone face up, and there can only be 8 G units outside of the main deck for now. So players with from the TCG will know that this G deck expands to 16 units down the line, but generally speaking, they give you that 1 draw to compensate because you're supposed to be doing triple drive, and help you mitigate the cost of striding. So let's talk about GB2 or GBX. When there are X amounts of G units face up on the Vanguard circle and in the G zone, this ability is active. So for Chronojet skill, it's a GB2 skill, so when you have 2 face up G units, then it will be active. Next, let's talk about the new triggers, the grade 0 triggers. So the grade 3 plus slot will now be the grade 3 plus grade 0 trigger slot. So it will share that 13 card slot. You will need to balance it. You can play like 10 grade 3s, 3 grade 0s. You can play 9, 4, etc., as you like. Let's talk about Heal Guardians. This is a new mechanic as well. So for example, Steam Maiden Uluru. In your hand when your Vanguard is going to be hit, if you will lose if you get hit, this card becomes a 15k shield and it gets priority over Sentinels. So whether you have the Heal Guardians first, the PG first, the Heal Guardians will proc first. If it's like more than 15k, then the PG will proc. If you don't have PGs, then multiple Heal Guardians will proc at the same time. Go watch my tips video if you haven't already. Next, all clans will get these freebies. Every single clan, all 24 clans will get their respective heal triggers, and everyone will get a playset of these 2 vanilla strides. This is a 16k vanilla stride and a 15k vanilla stride, which says on attack Vanguard count +1 to get plus 10k, only when it is necessary to hit over numbers. One last thing is we will be getting countercharger PGs. So this is a new type of PG. It helps you countercharge when you have a copy of itself in the drop zone, and this new type of PG will be included in the future for all clans. So far, you know, with G-Set 1, it's going to be Kagero, Chronicle, and Royals. G-Set 2 will have their own 3 clans. Clan events will have them. But we will have Fighters Collection, which will include these as well. So look forward to that. For beginners and people coming back, of course, the specific dates will differ for global. But for JP, new players starting from the G era will get a lot of packs, 100 packs, 2 super deck medals, 30 V coupons, 300 gems, and 50 V medals. And for comeback players who did not log in from May 2021 and before, might have to shift this by 2 months, so July I expect, then you will get 80 Vanguard packs, 30 V coupons, 300 gems, and 50 V medals as you log in. So that is quite nice. Next, we have the Character Fights 2.0. These will be separate for the G era and separate for the Card Capital one. So the existing one will still be there if you want to, but these one, I believe, give you better drops and is easier to complete, and it gives you these keys to unlock more goodies as well. Friendship levels for G fights will be removed and now exchanged with these keys that you get from Character Fights. What you do with these keys is actually you will unlock sleeves, you will unlock titles, home skins, and backgrounds, and a total of 300 gems. In set 2, you will also be able to use these keys to exchange for further mats the rarity of your picking. So that's very nice and flexible. Definitely a great way to spend them. Missions, there's also a revamp on them. So it's now G quests, kind of similar to what they kind of did in the anime. Every single day you will get 3 of these G quests. You can reset them up to 3 times. You can use your stamina. I think it's 30 stamina to get 3 more quests. And you know, each quest, there's 3 different difficulties. There's 1-star ones, 2-star, and 3-star, depending on the difficulty. The easier ones give you 50 and 50 of the points, and the currency, and the 3-star one gives you 150 and 150. So it's like 50 per star. With the points, you will rank up your G grade, which will give you more stamina. And with the coins, the currency, you can exchange for packs, starters from the generation, old packs, and skip tickets. Next, we have custom background. I guess it's just a quality of life change. As you unlock the character fights, the stories and all, you can unlock different backgrounds and different characters that you can use for your home screen. We also have training. For training fights now, you can choose AI or player, or both. And they only give 500 VP, so they're pretty redundant, I guess. And my room updates, I guess you can get more characters and all, and furniture if you're into that. There's a stride campaign, so it's let's stride. If you stride 300,000 times collectively in ranked fights, we will get a couple stride generation packs, so definitely be working on that and keep striding. There is a login bonus to get some packs, 1 every day, so for 4 days. We've been getting that for global. And for story missions, if you finish the G story up to the first few chapters, only a few, you will get 200 gems. So definitely be doing that for the gems. There are also start dash missions, so you will be able to do these missions. These are really, really easy and really, really nice because you will get some sleeves. you will get up to 4 PGs, countercharge PGs, and 1 Chrono Jet Dragon, as well as the G skin medal, which will come in really handy. So definitely Gear Chronicle is a very nice way to start if you are a new player, because you will simply have access to the triple rare, the main triple rare, and the 4 countercharge PGs just to start off the game, and that's very nice. Speaking of the events, we also have the first clan event in the G era, Nova Grappler. You complete the event to get packs, a sleeve, skip tickets, and more. It will be similar to the Imaginary Tower event, where you will be ranked against other people based on the amount of points you make, but it is individual. So ranking first to 1000s, you will get packs and special banners. For global, it might be 3000, similar to the rank system. Winning character fights get you challenge tickets. Using challenge tickets, you fight the CPU or Kamui. You can skip them with skip tickets, of course. You can also auto fight them. But the Kamui boss fight you cannot. The more you fight, the more drops you get, and using the bonus skins, you will get 1.5 times the amount of original points and medals. The boosted skins are the new G skins, Chrono, Mamoru, Anjo, and Shion for Gear Chronicle, Kagero, and Royal Paladins. The exchange rate is as follows. All generation rare and triple rares will be 50% off the first purchase, and all SP cards are 3 times the price of the original card. So generation rares, I believe, are 30,000, while triple rare are 3,000 when they're not 50% off. So, you know, do the math. So you can check out my clan event video as well if you want more detailed, specific gameplay. Passing through certain fight stages for the event gives you strike generation packs, and of course, deconstructing SPs will give you generation rare, the universal match. So even if you're not interested in Nova Grapplers, I suggest you just go through it, because you will be getting these tickets from the character fights anyways, and might as well grind some packs and mats along the way. For the second half of the month, we have the Imaginary Tower event for Brand Gate. So this is the third one, don't miss out. Of course, you can exchange for the old stuff as well, but they will be pricier than before. I really enjoy the support. I think there's a lot of opportunities. I think it's a really solid deck. You know, Seraph Snow gets triple drive, Prison is interesting, and really a nice deck to play around with, especially when we just got the Nova support. It's very nice to just slap on top of it, especially if you're a free-to-play player like myself on JP and global as well, but just because I've done the deck profile on JP. As for the rank rewards for the first half, it's not Draconic Neoflame, it is Chrono Jet Dragon. We will get the sleeves for Blade Master and Fate Rider Dragon, and it will last for the first 14-15 days of the month. It is the Awakening of the Interdimensional Dragon, and for the second half of the month, it is not Overlord the Great, it is actually Alt Mile. So Divine Swordsman of the Shining Star for the second half of the month. They got Alt Mile as a sleeve and Saint Blow as a sleeve as well, so that's quite nice. Let's quickly move on from that typo and talk about the VP rewards. So it does change a bit. It's no longer just one type of packs. We will be getting a mix of different stuff. So, you know, starting at the beginning, 10k you have 500 My Rune coins, 20k you have 500 premium coins, 30k you have 2k creation stones, 40k you get 1 Sentinel medal, 50k you get 1 Sentinel medal, 70k you get 1 Vanguard pack, 100k you get 1 Stride Generation pack, 150k you get 1 Vanguard pack, 200k you get 1 Stride Generation pack, 250k you have 5k creation stones, 300k you get 2 Vanguard packs, 400k you get 5,000 creation stones, 500k you get 1 Stride Generation pack, 650k you get 1 Stride Generation pack, 800k you get 3 Vanguard packs, 1 million and 10 you get 1 million you get 10 Stride Generation packs, and 1.1 million onwards you get 1 Stride Generation pack for every 100k. In addition, in the rank fights, we actually get the V coupons now, since the V tournaments are cancelled. So at Legend 3, you get 5 V coupons, and Legend 11, 21, and 31, you get 10 V coupons. So definitely, I mean, that's the only way you can pick them up now. So yeah, that's nice, I guess. One thing you will note is that Stride Generation Pack will be replaced by whichever set, you know, the current season has featured. So set 2 ladder would provide set 2 packs instead of Stride Generation packs. So definitely pick up as much as possible before it's too late. Next, for the V coupon shop, we have the return of Angelica and Lukie. So, you know, it's hard to come by these, I guess, but I think at this point everyone should have a surplus, so it's not that big of a deal. We also have the V Metal shop, including, the Sentinel Metal shop, including the Event Clan PGs. So you can pick these up as well. I don't think they're in the shop right now, so that's quite nice. We also have the fight skins, as mentioned just now. These give bonuses, so these are very gameplay. These have heavy gameplay implications. Chrono is automatically given, as Gear Chronicle is a new clan, but Xion for Royal Paladin and Mamoru for Kagero are exchangeable only through the Gmails. And for JP, the Gmails are paid, and to buy them, 3,300 yen with 1,500 gems and 1 Gmail, or 1,220 yen with no gems at all. So for JP players, I think we're in month 2 of G, almost at month 3, and we've only got 1 free Gmail so far from the Start Dash missions. So for global players, please do your research on which clan events get bonuses through which skins. I highly suggest you to consider the gameplay aspects more so than the aesthetics. We will still have dice events and other events to get aesthetic skins, but for now, these are really important. These are really scarce, so be careful what you're going to do with it. And we of course get the Kamui skin as well after the Kamui event, so look forward to that. Next, let's talk about the buffer month that JP had in September. So 1 month before G, 1 month after set 21 in JP, they had this buffer month where they introduced some stuff for the awkward time between the generations. So first of all, they introduced clan gachas. So clan gachas, basically you use OG packs. It will only feature cards from that specific clan. But it is quite a bit diluted because it has like every single card from that clan that ever existed so far. And it doesn't include G units. And I guess it's a great way to get maps and make use of these packs, since they're pretty much useless at that point. We also have some buffs. So, well, do you see that pun there? That's why I chose to call it the buffer month rather than the skip month. Haha. There's like 40 and more. I'm not going to cover them because they're not too relevant, other than like Dungri maybe, and some other cards. But just go watch DF's video if you don't know about them anymore at this point. Yeah, witches are cool too. I love witches, so yep. Let's start with the rank rewards for the month. We have Chaos Breaker Dragon as the buffer month rank reward, and we also have the Blaster Joker. So these units I really expect to show up in the View Coupon shop. Similar to how Global had the Stardust Trumpeter and some other unit, Alice I believe, directly to the View Coupon when they were skipped, since Global skipped set 3 way back when. So that's what I'm expecting. Of course, I don't know if that's definitely the case until, well, we hit December. Who knows? I really like the arts, and definitely a great way to pick them up if you don't have them already, especially Chaos, since it does get buffed. Yep. Alright, now let's talk about key cards to look out for. Not necessarily the best cards, but I like to think of it as like the investment value, like the long-term kind of situation of it. And there's only 3 clans this time around, so let's go through them. So the best clan out of this set is definitely going to be Kagero. Kagero's amazing. We have Dragon with the Cross. So even though it is the Stride era, don't underestimate Legion. Legion is still really good. The Cross lets you search the end. It helps you, you know, do something when it hits, do something when it doesn't hit. There's a lot of pressure. You can cycle the crosses and just keep legioning back, especially with Grom. So the Grom's like the top right, grade 1, the top left corner, right next to Blade Master, grade 1. That says when placed, Soul Blast 2, countercharge 2. So you can keep recycling your legions, keep using the ends or the crosses, and just, you know, cross your opponent off the game. But the cross does get a nerf. So it does hurt a bit, but it's still very competitive, and it did top a tournament recently, so don't underestimate them. Something else you could consider is Dragonic Blade Master on the top left. It's the stride support for Kagero. It helps you retire when you stride, and gets some extra power and crit when you're done striding at GB2, so that's quite nice, given some pressure by itself. You have 3 stride options for Kagero so far. The first one, Mahmoud, is an on-hit retire. So it's cheap, it's easy, but it does need to hit Vanguard to use the skill. The second one, Mustafa, is a generation rare that lets you counterblast 1 and Persona. No, not necessarily Persona flip, but flip a card from the G zone face up to retire one of your opponent's rear guards. And if you did, for each Mustafa in the G zone face up, you get a skill, Vanguard Circle, Rearguard Circle. When this hits the Vanguard, countercharge 1. So that's nice. I really like the Mustafa because it does mean you don't have to hit to retire in the first place, and it does open up for one more swing to the face if your opponent has the intercepts. And lastly, we have Brute Flare Dragon, GR as well. GB2, once per turn, G Persona flip, so flip itself over from the G zone. Choose one of your opponent's rearguards and retire everything from the same column. Very devastating. And overall, you know, Kagero does Kagero stuff. The strides are very vanilla, but they do the job. And the deck for this set, you know, if it does come to it, I'd say it is the cross. It is the cross meta. And definitely don't underestimate Legion, even though it is a slightly outdated keyword. Second place, I vote Chrono Jet Dragon with Gear Chronicles. You have a similar form of removal. Instead of retire, you're putting them to bottom of the deck for each stride. Chrono Jet Dragon's GB2 has 5k and guard restrict, so that's really, really solid. You have some support like grade 2, the Puzur Li, and the Ishin, which gets guard restrict, whether that's Soul Blast 1 or Counter Blast 1. It also has resist. Ishin also has resist. Glimmer Breath Dragon on GB1 when placed, if your Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater Chrono Jet, Soul Blast 1, Counter Blast 1 to return something a grade 2 or greater or less rearguard, put it to the bottom of the deck and get +2. 11k beater by itself, and helps you remove front row, get one more swing, even when you're not striding. And of course, GG, Soul Blast 2 draw 1 is solid. In terms of the strides, gears have 4. 3 of the key ones, Fate Rider Dragon. Fate Rider is very important as a generation rare. A lot of people might say you only need 1 or 2, but I would, if I could play, I'd play this at like 2 or 3. It's a no-cost skill. Pull one of your rearguards to the bottom of the deck. Call a card with the same, call a card with that unit's grade +1 from your deck. Choose one of your units for each face-up card in your G zone, and they get +3k. So, you know, when you play out your GG, you get to draw 1, and then you get to filter, you get to return the GG for a grade 2 that you want. There's so many plays you can do with it. It helps you correct, you know, maybe you have a trigger in your hand, a grade 0 trigger, and you'd rather have a booster or something else. If you have a grade 1 and you'd rather search for, you know, resist or guard restrict or both, you can do that. And the 3k helps you scale up and hit numbers because 9 + 3 = 12, so that's really nice. And make the best use out of those guard restrict options. We have Ragnarok, which also has guard restrict, preventing your opponent from using grade 0s. And so Counter Blast 1, Persona Blast itself, a G Persona Blast, prevent your opponent from guarding with grade 0s. And then if your opponent has G Zone 2 or more face-up cards, it gets +1 crit. And choose one of your opponent's rearguards and put it to the bottom of their deck. So one play, obviously, to maximize its value, you use it later down the line once you strided already the previous turn to get the crit and the return. But, you know, if you have that early aggro, if you use it early, then the turn immediately after, your Chrono Jet is already on GB2, and you have that guard restrict with Chrono Jet, which is quite the spicy play. And lastly, I had to mention Meme Street Flare Dragon, of course. It's a skill when it hits a Vanguard, Counter Blast 4, check top 3. If they have 3 different grades, you get an additional turn. And if not, you get to countercharge 4. So it's kind of like a do or die, you know? If you're winning, you just win. If you're losing, you have a chance to win. And it feels pretty good. Of course, you need to be more astute with your CB management. Generally, the list would only play this at 1 or 2 because it's a very situational card. You'd much rather just go with Fate Rider or the Ragnarok. But it has its situations and it has its values, and it definitely wins games. It's not that much of a meme because you have 13 grade 3s and grade 0s mixed together. If you use your Fate Rider earlier, you could return your starter, which further increases your odds because there's 4 different types of grades in your deck, and you know they're more balanced. The odds are you know, way better than TCG. And lastly, we have Royal Paladins. They're not too shabby, but definitely not as strong as the others. I remember back then in the tier list, you know, they put Altmal as the best deck in the format, and you know, you know, the deck didn't stand the test of time. I guess that's the saying. And it's still good, but it's not as good as the others. So Altmal, it lets you call stuff out. It lets you recycle grade 2s. It lets you get more power. But power, I know we have the heal guards, but it still isn't that big of a deal, honestly. Knight of Twin Sword, you know, the first grade 2 to the top right. says GB1 when this attacks a Vanguard, if it's boosted, countless one to call a grade 2 other than itself. Generate those multi-attacks. One of the great targets is Starlight Violinist. Vanguard Circle, Rearguard Circle, when placed, so last one, counter last one. Call a grade 2 other than itself from the deck, so another multi-attack option. Call out a booster, grade 2 booster maybe. Here's a GB1 that's an AK booster. And a Knight of Fragment is a GB1. If you have 2 or more grade 2 rearguard to gust +2 and the following ability, when it hits a Vanguard, soul charge 1, counter charge 1. So that's great. 11k beater by itself, and counter charge is nice. In terms of strides, you have Good Blade, which is the on hit superior call a grade 2 or greater, which then helps you set up those grade 2 plays from the top right corner. You have Same Blow, which is a G persona flip that gets +3k for each of your rearguards, and if you have 2 or more face up in the G zone, it gets an extra crit. And all of your grade 2s get a suited resist, cannot be retired by your opponent's card effects. And then Samuel is quite a solid card, I guess. It helps you push for game. Vanguard Circle when this attacks the Vanguard, if your opponent has 4 or less damage, and you have 5 rearguards, +1 to deal 1 damage to your opponent. So these are quite nice options. One thing is that Same Blow Dragon, you know, it has that pseudo resist, but clans like Gear Chronicle that rewinds them instead of retires them, or you know, decks like Narukami that can bind them instead of just retiring them. You know, Same Blow can't play around that, unfortunately, but overall it's still really good in a Kagero dominant metagame. Lastly, let's talk about some tournament results. So this is the Clan All-Star Tournament around October 17. So this is mid G-Set 1. This is all in Japanese. I don't have the winning kind of deck, but we can look at the stats and kind of see what is popular and imply what is better or what people perceive as strong. So coming first is Kagero at 14.8%. Third is Gear Chronicle. Fifth is Nova Grappler, and somewhere in the middle at 2.8% is Royal Paladins. Interestingly enough, second place is actually Shadow Paladin, and fourth is Narukami. You know, Brawlers are still really strong, but Shadows is still strong, but surprising, definitely. But overall, I guess I want to paint the picture that these decks definitely are competitive in the metagame. 3 of 4 are kind of placing at the top in terms of popularity, and Kagero is definitely number 1 though, definitely number 1. Next up, we have the Vanguard Zero Championship 2021 Autumn, the night before. So this is, I believe, a type of qualifier, and the winner used Kagero and Bermuda Triangle. This is G-Set 2 though, so that's something to consider. But the most popular was Narukami. I think the clan event just came out right a few days or weeks ago. But Kagero and Gears still on the map. Royals and Novas nowhere to be seen. But you know, these two are definitely still competitively viable. Then we have the Vanguard Zero Autumn, the actual tournament. The first place, the finalist Nazuna, went with Aquaforce, Kagero, and Bermuda Triangle. Aquaforce and Bermuda is from G-Set 2, and Kagero, of course, is from G-Set 1. Even though the cross did get nerfed, it is still very strong. So, you know, it's a great deck to invest in, and you can see, you know, there's a lot of people that says, oh, just craft the cross, oh, you don't need the GRs, you know, blah blah. But if you want to win, you know, for one last time, if you want to win, you need the GRs, bro. Like, look at Aquaforce, you know, oh yeah, it's 7 GRs, you know, 7 GRs. Oh, Kagero, oh, 8 GRs, yeah. And Bermuda, I guess 4 GRs. So, you know, I guess the minimum you do want, there's no reason not to play your Mustafas, there's no reason not to play your Roof Flares. So that's all I'm gonna say. And another player, top 4, Cross Chaser. I want to showcase Cross Chaser because they did bring the Gear Chronicle. So Kagero, Bermuda, and the Gear Chronicle. Bermuda is definitely really strong. This is a slightly different build. It's not the Legion build. And of course, look at that Gear. Look at that Cray Elemental. That's pretty feels bad. But the Gear player, you know, you're playing 6 GRs. That's I kind of like that. You know, you need the 2 G persona flips. You want the Fate Riders. You want one of the Meme Street Flare, one of the on hit. That's fine. And Kagero, you know, again, 7 GRs, 6 GRs. At least 6 GRs in most builds, honestly. And that's just how it is. You know, it's really expensive. I don't know how long I can sustain this channel, but that's just the metagame. So I guess overall you can kind of see lots of people still prefer the 9 draws. I guess overall it's just the most consistent. But there are some builds that do play the different triggers. For example, the Gear Chronicle playing the 2 crits that go into the soul, gives you 5k and draw 1, and draw 1 on defensive. So there are a lot of opportunities from the set, you know, specifically Kagero and also Gears, and even Kagero, you know, there are Blade Master oriented builds that did top. It's just, you know, the winners ended up being the Cross. So yeah, definitely the Cross is still good. Don't underestimate them, even though they got nerfed. And I would really suggest picking them up, especially since they don't seem that expensive, especially if you don't mind not playing an optimal deck without the GRs. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for Kamui Nova Grappler for supporting the channel by being a member. Of course, you can do that too by being a member. But of course, if you want to support the channel, you can also like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already and want to see more. Again, while I try to reflect everything that went on in JP, you know, I can't know what 100% is going to go on for global. So I did make some changes. Like I skipped over some stuff. I borrowed and I made some guesses with with the V coupons and all that. But generally speaking, you know, I think this is a decent representation of the GSET 1 experience, at least for JP. And it should be similar for global. And yeah, let me know down below which clan you're most hyped for the set. Any specific changes maybe to the game that you're excited for, any specific changes that you're not excited for. Personally, a lot of people, you know, think that the pack system is nice. Maybe the first set, maybe the second set, maybe the third set, but as we're going into the 4th set, the 5th set, the 6th set, and you all run out of gems and notice how expensive gems are, then we'll see. That's just me speaking. It's gonna be a pain. Yeah, let's see what we can do. But let me know down below what your thoughts are. Hope I'm not too pessimistic, and yeah, hope to chat with you all down below. And I can't wait for G coming in less than 2 days. All right, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.